Well, while we're sitting, I will tell you that Three Phase as a program has we had our largest submission window this January. We were working with 16 companies that were applying to NIH's January 5th deadline at the same time, which there's two and a half ish of us that work on this program regularly. So it made for a very busy holiday season, and it was a really exciting deadline. And we did not have anybody needing to submit in the last hour the window was open, which I mean, I don't know how much you all who come to this conference spend your time on those applications, but having everybody in well before the 5 o'clock deadline is not often a thing that happens, and it was very exciting. I think it was 4:20 or so when I was able to sit back and take a deep breath and acknowledge that it had been successful. Some of the other things that we've been successful at doing with groups over the last 6 or so years is kind of working with both ends of the spectrum in terms of researchers kind of spinning out of universities with technology and entrepreneurs who have great ideas that they want to go and get funded. Um, a lot of times, each of those parties have trouble identifying people in the other camp. So, we have a lot of entrepreneurs that don't have direct connections into universities, especially in the state, and it's helpful having the relationships that we have because we can go kind of make introductions and build those networks as much as we can. And kind of similarly, having universities spin out companies go and be able to make relationships with accelerators or with incubators around the state and meet entrepreneurs who are looking for exciting new projects or potential funding partners. We have the ability to go and act as a conduit for those groups, which is a lot of fun. We get to kind of do some matchmaking and introductions and then watch those relationships grow over time, which is a really exciting way to spend some time. Myco works. That is not one that I'm familiar with, Tina. I'd like to be, but I am not familiar with them. Oh, I will write it down. Ready to go. Is it an accelerator in Union or like an incubator space? Gotcha. Well, we can learn together. I like that. I will. I will go meet them and find out. I was sharing with our road tour team from SBA that May is a really nice time to visit Columbia because it's before, it'll be warm enough, but it's not going to be miserable outside yet. So we can maybe do like a dinner or something outside the night before that Sunday. Um, I'm not sure that they grasp the heat and humidity that Columbia brings in June and July, and certainly in August. So they picked a nice time to come. Exactly. Well, maybe not low. I mean, it's South Carolina, so low is relative, but it will certainly be lower than later in the year when it is definitely not. I actually live in DC now. I've been in DC for about 9 years, but I lived in Columbia for, I don't know, a decade or so for school and then after school. And I really thought moving to DC it was going to get better. It did not. The only difference is I walk outside all the time now, so there's no escaping the humidity. It's like living in a swamp. Lovely. We don't really work with SRNL. The Savannah River folks, I think there's an on-site coordinator who works with their projects. That's a good question, David. They are not one of the funding agencies for SBIRs specifically, so I think they get involved in a lot of the projects through their kind of national lab status, but they aren't an independent funding agency, so we don't really spend much time with them. I have engaged with them a little bit through not, in my university life, not through the SBIR world. Um, I think the person that I used to know and spend a little time with left, but I think there is an external relations person. I'm not sure what their title is, but there is an external contact usually at SRNL that you can reach out to about partnerships or engagement or collaborative research work. Well, we're about halfway through, so I'm going to give the little kind of overview that I did at the top. I think we've had a few new people join, so in case they're interested in the South Carolina road tour specifics, so for those of you that have already heard it, maybe you'll hear something different this time. Who knows? So our road tour in South Carolina is going to be hosted on Monday, May 13th in Columbia at the Pastiges Alumni Center for USC in downtown Columbia. The day's going to start pretty early. It's going to start around 8 in the morning. There's going to be panels ongoing through lunchtime with federal program representatives. Simultaneously, in another room, you can sign up for one-on-one spots to meet with any agency representatives that are joining the tour. So when you register in February, once the registration link is live, you can upload your quad chart and identify, kind of prioritize what agencies you're interested in meeting with. And then Catherine and her fantastic team on the backside are going to do all of those logistics, which thankful for them because that is not a skill that I possess. So it's great that we have people who know how to do that doing that. They'll be setting up kind of a schedule for when folks will be meeting with the federal representatives. So when you're not meeting, you kind of pop into the panel room. Our goal and what we're trying to do is have a lot of community partners join from South Carolina organizations join us for that day as well. So they'll have tables and booths set up kind of around out in the lobby and in other rooms and spaces so folks can meet funders and entrepreneur support organizations um, and just good partners to know in the state throughout the day. The federal team will leave us around lunchtime, and we'll keep going with more panels in the afternoon from our partners like the Department of Commerce, different universities, South Carolina Research Authority, maybe the EPSCoR folks, the Apex Accelerator, which is a nice program that partners with um, DoD facing contract clients to help plug them into DoD opportunities that may be open. So our goal is to have this be a one-stop day where everything is available to all of the companies that want to come and build relationships and meet folks and spend their time together. Um, Thank you, Catherine. Yeah, the registrations will be in February. I believe that everybody who registered for the America Seed Fund Week is going to be on the list that gets pushed information when all of these applications open, so that you'll be made aware as soon as those are available. I think we're all working out logistics on getting the pages set up and things currently. So, any additional questions? Any thoughts? Um, we have plenty of time to talk about specific situations as well if anybody wants to jump in and have a conversation. Hey, thanks, Scott. Seems like we might have some folks that are trying to join to talk, but are having some tech issues. So we'll give them a second.